Looking forward to this weekend's competition. Wasn't here for last year's Sire. I know you were, at least in spirit.
It was long.
And the one thing that I took from it, watching it back, was just how serious the standard got. And I think if this year's competition lives up to it, and from what I've seen already this morning, I watched a bit of Cole Bedford, Kevin George on the train in, and those guys put on a show. If we get the sort of standard that we saw last year, we are in for a heck of a weekend, folks. The likes of Chris Melling played maybe his best English 8-ball tournament in about 20 years. Sean Chipperfield, Declan Brennan, Craig Waddingham, Jack Whelan, all last year played lights out. It was a joy to watch. And considering we're going 2-session matches, race to 13, 14, 15 eventually, the amount of deciders that we saw was crazy. These guys put on a show last year, and hopefully we get a little bit more of the same in this year's tournament. I think the early rounds might be a bit of a stretch to see some of that. Craig Waddingham will start this match. Heavy favourite against James Kirk, but it is 𝗘𝗃𝗲𝗿 at the table right now, and he's got a fairly decent first opportunity here. He's a bit straighter than he would have liked here, so he's going to have to be able to drop this one in for maybe the one to the middle, and it's just about connecting them up.
Yeah, does it drop in the middle? I would make the case that he should have played on that one previously. So if you played on the one to the middle previously, if it goes, then the one top right, the one he's just played, connects to the one down by the 8-ball, and that's your out. So he had the line to do that, and he chose not to.
Yeah, the way he's gone here is setting himself up from possibly a very tough shot, connecting the final two reds together.
Yeah. So this must go in the middle comfortably enough for him to play it this way round.
Can he give himself an angle?
Not much of one.
That was the issue.
Yeah. So he's going to have a very tough last shot.
This one I'd put to you, it's not easy either.
No,
You've got to play a good shot to get good here.
This is easy if you're dropping it in. If you're forcing it, it becomes missable.
All eyes on the cue ball here as well. Pot shouldn't be a problem, but as Simon rightly says, tariff goes up when you're forcing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what I did. Do you know what I didn't like there, Simon? It's something that I think if James had his time again, he might go about differently. Calling your extension on the shot, get up.
Yeah, you've got the extension to do that.
As soon as that happened, I didn't fancy him for that shot.
To me, that was a pattern error rather than an execution error, because the angle he had 3 shots before that, he actually should have played on that one. The ball went in the middle so easy that I was saying play on the one in the middle, then that one. But play on the one he's just missed. The one in the middle gives him the perfect angle on the one top left to just track the line for the red by the 8-ball. So a missed opportunity for sure, and especially in the opening frame of a match, that can be a big factor.
Tells us how confident Craig Waddingham's feeling, by the way. That is your first pot of the tournament. And work on yellows, considering James has broken down fairly late on in his opening visit here. There is a pretty sizable amount of graft for Craig Waddingham to get through here.
Yeah, at least one ball that doesn't go, possibly a couple. It's an argument to say play the loss of turn top right and
I think
hide
it's a
the
very
white.
good argument.
He's a bit straight on that. I don't think he's going to do it. I do think that the top right isn't a big issue because you can play the yellow off the red and open up the pocket. The one he's tried to move there was the issue. But my thinking being that if you play the loss of turn top right with lots of yellows on the table, you control the tactical exchange and eventually you win that battle. Not so much the modern way where players will just attack and back themselves to get out from anywhere.
I suspect Craig's playing the loss of turn here.
No, I don't think he is.
You think he's going?
I don't think he's going. I think he's just trying to find... Well, I think he's going to go, but he's trying to find what he leaves if he doesn't make it. He was looking at... Obviously, he's got to play this one off the red, but he's also looking at, does he leave anything on? Come down for the double, but he has to play this one off the red to open up the pocket. Played it clean and moved the yellow. That's worked out nicely.
Well, he's happy on the double. You saw him line it up there. It is something that just takes a little bit of rewiring in my brain sometimes, that players are more than happy to play on doubles in first frames of matches.
It just shows you where Craig's at with his game and the mindset. You know, he's a huge favourite if he goes tactical, but he's just backs himself to go, and he hasn't got it. You know, essentially, he's just gifted James a second opportunity here.
Don't think he landed as nicely as he could have on that double, but at the same time, still fancied him to get it. Free hit here for James Kirk, essentially. A chance to do some real damage. Got into that fraction too much, but he won't mind.
Good news is he can just let this float across and take the 8 ball in the opposite centre. So just play this natural, don't have to force it. He might be pulling it back, depends how he plays it, but he has the option.
Oh no.
Yeah, that wasn't the best bit of cueing. You could see it go out. Just flicked at it.
Yeah, it's one of those for me where I think you've got to play your odds a little bit there. Float the angle, you guaranteed a shot. Tricky little shot, first frame, still a bit nervy. Just pop the ball.
I think he was trying to get top side of the 8 ball rather than just let the cue ball naturally float underneath it, which to me is a much easier shot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, James Kirk's a good player. If you just ask him to pot that ball, I think he pots that ball. I think you back yourself to just float through and make a relatively simple 8 ball in the middle. And the reason why it's a big moment, really. It's less so for Craig because he's been there, he's done it. He's a multiple-time Ultimate Pool champion. He has about as much experience out on that main arena table as anybody. Craig will make mistakes, but he's got so much confidence in his game that it doesn't tend to really matter. And you also, as a viewer, know roughly where he's at. You know what you're sort of going to get from Craig Waddingham. All this is to say that mistakes for Craig need to be punished. You don't tend to get many of them. And they don't tend to affect him as much as if you, for example, on your TV debut, fail to run out in frame 1. There will be some jitters for James, and those jangles, I think, are slightly more audible as he comes to the table here in frame 2. With a good layout, it must be said.
Yeah, very good layout. Looks like he just needs to get left-hand side of, down where he's looking now. You'd love to do that in 2 shots time. Looks like he's got quite a lot of angle here, though.
Yeah, he got into that last shot a little bit. Might just be the pace of the cloth catching him a touch. All that is that simple shot that he played to right centre where he's pumped it in. He's thinking, I can't miss this, cue through it, all good. And he just got half a tip low and all of a sudden it's come back 6-7 inches. He's left himself a really high angle on that red and it made that shot difficult. Haven't seen enough of James to know whether he's a player who really likes to cue through a ball, or whether it's just maybe some early nerves and it generally feels better to properly cue through it. But either way, it's the second successive frame that he's had first opportunity and has broken down.
Yeah, just cue ball and pattern didn't connect at all there. I think there was an opportunity. Once he'd landed with too much angle on the one to left centre, he may have had to take that long and just leave himself just slightly high angle on the red to right centre, you know, just like a ball above straight. And then that would have got him where he wanted to. The way he went, he was just always going on a path where he needed a nudge.
Collector's item from Craig Waddingham, but it was played with an eye of not leaving anything he knew, even for his standards. That was a very, very tough pot. He sort of tried to cheat the yellow in to the top left whilst having a pretty safe cue ball. But James will have a go at this. Make it and he'll get the frame, you'd think. It was tough though. But he has royally messed up the bottom end of the table, which might serve him.
Craig chased in the first frame. What does he do here? Because this is tougher.
Yeah, there's nothing that says to me go here, but I'm not Craig Waddingham.
This time he does play a good loss of turn.
That's an excellent shot. Look at that. What a shot from Craig Waddingham. Makes his name as a mercurial potter, but that is as good a tactical shot as you'll ever see. Loss of turn, and look at the cue ball. In one shot, he has gained complete control of the frame, and that is where this game isn't all about all-out attack. That is really clever match play from the Silver Sniper. Yeah, unlucky, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, moving that yellow, though, that was a good position to play a breaker shot from. Now that's not there. Slightly tricky. He's going to use the one in the middle of the table. I suppose, okay, so he's got the yellow over the corner guaranteed. Actually has helped him for that reason. Although that's not gone well.
He could have gone better. He's got the yellow top left, so he can still continue.
It's the two yellows going on the left-hand side. There's no safety option because the loss of turn will be on. He's going to play safe, or is it a big double? It's the big double. Oh, beautiful.
That's a great shot. Considering his first double went so badly in frame one, that is some serious bottle there from Craig Waddingham.
Very well executed frame of ball, this, isn't it, from Craig's perspective. The safety shot was arguably the best shot we've seen all day, and we've seen a couple of big moments from Cole in particular. But
well, I mean, it's ultimately it's a shot that's won him a frame in a very long match in the very early stages against a player he is heavy favourite to beat. So it's not going to win any competitions for sort of shots when you factor in the importance of it, but as safety shots and tactical shots go, I'm not sure I've seen a better one all year for how well executed that was.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And that's what I thought he was going to do in the opening frame, is play that one key loss of turn and then take control, but he chose to chase. And this time round he goes the other way around. I don't think he had a choice this time round. There was nothing to chase. But he has won the opening two frames. It's taken him over 12 minutes. 12 frames in this session, all the clock will run out, so just keep an eye on that for now. There will be 30 seconds throughout. That was flushed. Beautiful. Beautiful break. Deserves a good layout with the quality of hit there, and tiny bit of work. You'd always take this, I think. 8-ball, I suppose, has gone awkward enough to catch your attention as well. Another one that's got away from James, just can't get going. This has a very similar feel actually to the way that Kevin George started and Anthony Jeffers as well. Just early, not really finding the rhythm out there. They both managed to get going at points in the match. So.
It's why we really, well, I say we, why I really harped on about that sort of first frame and how I felt like James really could have managed it a little bit better. Because, you know, it's not easy to beat these great players. And if he's to have any chance of it, you feel like he's got to start really well, get himself in the game. Let Craig know that he's in a game. At the minute, all Craig's seen is James comes to the table and he looks nervous, he looks a bit shy, he's struggling to get going. And Craig is, well, he's full pressure off. At the minute, he's getting 2 or 3 chances to win every frame. Craig Waddingham usually needs less than 1.
And the way that plays out is that the more he relaxes, the better he plays. And in normal circumstances, that's what great players do. You've got to get them under pressure. If you don't punish the mistakes, Craig made a mistake in the first frame. If you don't do that, then you're asking for trouble.
Yep.
Where does he want the 8 ball? My question. This yellow at the top of the table. Thought might be his last ball for the 8 ball, bottom left. The way he's gone about this, I think he likes the 8 ball in the centre. Someone pointing his cue. It's quite a long way away and it is very close to the cushion. As close behind this as he can get would be better. Somewhere there would be perfect.
Pretty good. Yeah, he started well as the silver sniper.
His only mistake really was chasing a terrible finish, you know, a really tough finish, and he missed a double. He started with a huge amount of positivity.
And his silver locks, for which he's famous, looking even more dazzling and with a late summer tan for Craig Waddingham. Not sure where he's been off to, but looking good. It's the silver sniper.
Yeah.
Of course, we're all going on a summer holiday soon. Off to Ennis in County Clare for the IEPF World Championships. Told the weather's lovely. Coming up in a fortnight's time, and if you're watching this live right now, either on Ultimate Pool TV or on our Ultimate Pool YouTube Premium Club, you'll be able to watch the IPF World Championships as well. One thing that's not gone for Craig so far, and he's by and large played very, very well, is his break. That's 2 now for the silver sniper, and it's barely been a silver pistol. Less than effective. No balls down just yet, but good splits. Once again, 4th frame in a row here, I think, for James. He gets first go.
He does, and the plant's on. Was there an opportunity to move that red underneath that pocket?
I think he tried to there. Almost certainly tried to.
Maybe, I don't know. The yellow might have been in the way, but of course he wanted to get up here and deal with these as well. He landed perfectly at the top, so if he was playing it that way, it was played well. That's the ball, though, the one on the right-hand side. That is the challenge, and he has a little bit too much angle here on this one. So that's why he's changing to the centre pocket.
Well, that moved it.
Yeah, it was a long way away.
Tough out there. It is tough. There's no mistake about it. Often see on the old social media comments about how easy this game is and all the rest of it. It really, really, really isn't. What we're blessed with is the best players in the world who make it look farcically easy at times.
I think that's the thing. At times they do, and we saw that in the previous match with John McAllister, who normally makes the game look easier than most. Beautiful pot from Craig.
Yeah, shots like that. You think, oh yeah, it's an easy game, isn't it?
But my point being that John was off for the majority of that match, and it didn't look like an easy game, and then he found rhythm at the end and finished with 4 visits to kind of steal a march on the match. But just highlights the point that this game isn't easy.
No, we've often had that discussion with our reigning champ, haven't we, Chris Melling? Sometimes he'll whip through a match in half an hour, win to 0 and all the rest of it, and he comes off saying, oh, it's too easy, that game. It is.
It's too easy for him.
It's too easy for him.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Yep, that's the difference.
I would suggest that's one of his biggest obstacles for Chris, is at times he can find the game too easy, and that's actually a problem for him.
Yeah, can lose concentration.
Lose concentration and take some liberties out there.
One thing he did do last year, spectacularly well though, was just looked completely in the zone. A couple of the finishes that he took out in that tournament, a couple of the matches that he won, absolutely spectacular. Beat this man in the semi-final, Craig Waddingham. I think if you look at that semi-final lineup last year, and you see Craig Waddingham, Declan Brennan, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Chris Melling, you think, yeah, cream really rose. That was not Craig Waddingham's finest hour, though. Just landed out of position at the top of the table and forced himself to take on what wasn't necessarily a tough pot, but a tough cue ball, required a lot of power. And it looks pretty wild. What's he left?
It's important for James to just find a way here. You've got to take a frame and put Craig under pressure. That's not good. That's not good. Just had to get out and have sight of the next ball.
I know it was tight, but I think you have to play that with a bit more pace. It's gone in the pocket comfortable enough. I don't think you were risking missing it if you played it on that line. But even if you had to get that yellow out of the way.
Even if you just avoid the yellow and leave the cue ball on the break line, you've got a shot down the table one way or another.
Oh, what a mad shot. In the end, Craig Waddingham's got a good chance.
8 balls guarded. That's the good news for James, where the red finished.
You see what I mean, though, about the way Wadd approaches? Like, if he makes a mistake in a frame, it's just... It's water off a duck's back. It just doesn't bother him.
He's made another one here, though. Left this 2 straight. He's going to put his great potting prowess under pressure because he's not going to be nice on this 8 ball.
This is what I like to watch. Leave yourself right in the jaws if you can, Craig. Show off. Oh, I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah, me too.
Really surprised.
He tried to get better on it. I thought he was just going to accept and kind of almost roll it in on and off the cushion and leave it above the break line. Now he's got to bend it.
He certainly did.
Too much. Now then, James, this is the moment. You have to take this frame here and now. If you don't, then you're just going to give so much freedom to Craig Waddingham. This is worth so much more than the frame itself. That's okay. That's a good nudge.
Even the very, very best players often say they don't feel at home and settled until that first 8 ball goes in. James Kirk. That feeling is kind of magnified. Simple pot, cue ball natural. Oh, okay. That'll do.
He's got away with one there. Doesn't matter. Just got to knock the 8 ball in.
Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done. Nicely done. Just a bit worried about that cue ball for a second there. A bit of an eye roll from James, but he's on the board, which is important. He seems that we mentioned this a couple of frames ago. He seems to really like queuing through a ball, which, you know, Craig Waddingham is a player who likes to cue through a ball. It doesn't mean you can't play on these tables. What you've got to do is have the judgment of your line of the cue ball, and that's what's not quite been there. And that shot there was a great example. If he plays that a tip higher, he just floats the gap and, and floats around the angles, and it's nice and easy.
For me, yeah, I mean, he's played that as a punch shot to play like a stun run through off the cushion, but it throws wide, you know, and essentially then he's a tip too high. It's a hard shot to judge and execute. Whereas to me, you play that shot onto the 8 ball, you're rolling it in with left-hand side, and it's just naturally going to come off the cushion and track where you want to be without having to do any work whatsoever. And I will always say that's the easy way around, but James, you're absolutely right. He's a player that wants to play those punchy shots instead of play those naturals with traces.
First time in the match, Craig Waddingham gets first visit.
He's lucky to get away with the cue ball there, but the frustration being, win a frame, he won't feel overly brilliant about the way he won it, but at least he's won a frame, and then you give up a great chance off your own break in the very next frame. You're sat in your chair telling yourself, come on, break and clearance on the back of it, really give yourself some positive feeling, and also get yourself back within 1. Unfortunately, he's got to sit and watch because Craig's in a good position here. Right on the right-hand side. Needs some thought. I'm not sure if it goes to the top of the table or not. Did it go down the table? Does it pass the 8 ball bottom left? Is that what he was thinking? Well, that's the ball. Does have one in the middle here. No. So he got his first couple of shots wrong and left himself work to do. Hasn't given up an easy table to James, but James will be pleased to at least get to the table. I have to try and find a containing shot here. I don't see the aggressive play. Might be able to pot one to top left, but how are you dealing with the 2 down the table? Thinking being, if you brushed off one of the yellows and left the cue ball middle of the top cushion, you weren't going to leave anything on. Come back and look for a tactical exchange. This is an odds against finish. If it was just a double down the table, I could see it.
Nope. I mean, that's some line to find.
Yeah, he was trying to move the yellow, obviously, but I still think he was heading into trouble. Had to come down and find a breakout shot or a double with a breakout shot. He was going to be a long way through the visit before he got there, so maybe too aggressive. Craig Waddingham's not a player that ever really worries too much about who he's playing. It doesn't seem to get too bothered if he's playing best players in the world or not really. He's will just play the table and play his game. He always talks about that. But he will definitely be freed up by what he's seeing from the other side of the table right now.
Yeah, and in a strange way, it can actually work against a player like a Craig Waddingham. He's got to work quite hard here to sort of maintain his concentration, similar to what we talked about before. He knows here that James is struggling, and he knows he's in the box seat. He knew that before the match. He certainly knows that now. What he's got to work hard is to not think, I'm going to get 2 chances every frame, because that will bring his natural game down and almost get, to use a slightly negative phrase that I don't want to, almost get dragged down here into sort of the level that James is playing, which isn't where Craig Waddingham wants to be. Craig Waddingham is one of the best players in the world, as you say. He wants to just play the table. He's pretty good at the old mental side of the game, is the 𝗨𝘃𝗀𝘀, one of the best temperaments you'll ever see, really. But even the best can get sort of dragged into a game that they sometimes don't want to play. And he can't get his break to work.
We're pleased to see 2 balls come together, red and yellow, and the yellow and 8 ball. If they were just separated a little bit, this wouldn't be too challenging, but it is challenging because of those options. The yellow up the table is a major problem, an absolute major problem, and the red at the bottom, even bigger. Oh dear, he's going to foul here. It's ball behind the line. Foul off the break is ball behind the line, not anywhere on the table. So the table remains open, and it is now ball in hand anywhere on the table for Craig Waddingham. Still not a good layout, because fortunately for James, he missed the breakout shot. That would have been the worst thing for him. If he'd broken out the yellow, then it could have been completely different. Or if he breaks out the red, probably even worse. What does Craig do? I don't think this should be a finish. It's not going to be, is it? Is it take your colour set, then play safe? He can go left centre. It doesn't look like he's going to do much with it. Maybe break out the 8 ball, but that's not to his advantage. No, it's clever play. He doesn't really want this to go in. He didn't want that in. He actually got it a lot closer to the pocket than I think he was ever thinking.
It's a very Craig Waddingham problem to have, that you can pot ridiculous balls even when you don't want to.
This is going to be loss of frame, isn't it? He's on yellows. Yeah, he's on yellows here. This is going to be loss of frame. He's lost it out there. In fact, our referee, 𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗲𝗍, was so confused with that. He wanted to just go and confirm with our timekeeper, because it can catch you like that, as in James was so confident he was playing the right set, but he wasn't. And yeah, loss of frame. So 2 very strange falls violations in the same frame. And it is a gift.
Well, have you ever seen anything like it?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's very strange.
To use a cricketing term, which I know you're well up on.
I'm aware.
That was an incredibly village frame of ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was a good shot played in the frame. There was 2 very strange decisions. And ultimately, it's Craig Waddingham that's won the frame. That was very, very strange. It really was. I mean, to the point where, I mean, he looked so confident that he was reds that 𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗃𝗃, who is absolutely right up there, one of the best in the business. He does all our live TV shows on a Monday. He wanted to just go and double check that he had that with our timekeeper.
The one thing I would say is I've got a bit of sympathy. It is an incredibly difficult environment to play in out there, under the lights, in front of the cameras.
It was
me and 𝗪𝗏 slagging you off at every turn. It's not easy, and I think it's just a little bit of a brain fade for James.
I mean, the strange thing is, if he had potted a red with his first shot and missed his breakout, I could understand it a little bit, because but he potted a yellow, but it was a foul, so it remains open. Then Craig comes to the table and pots a red that assigns colours, and then plays safe off a red, and you come to the table and you play a red. His head must have just been spinning about the mistake he made with ball in hand at the start. And
it looked like it.
Lost concentration. To make matters worse, there's also on the big screen out there a yellow and a red to tell you what colour set you are as well. Might not be helping. If he puts together a finish here off the back of what's just happened in the previous frame, all credit to him for resetting.
It would arguably be finish of the weekend, I think, after the madness of the frame before.
He's just got himself slightly awkward here. I think he's straight enough on this yellow that he can avoid the 8 ball. Dig it. Yeah, just pull up. Yeah, just went too far. Possibly could have played that more. I mean, if he plays it more pacier, it probably brings the 8 ball into play, but play on the one at the top. Potentially, I mean, ideally you would want to be on the one below the 8 ball, but if you couldn't hold, then maybe that's the way to go.
Tough cue in this. Oh, shot.
He missed it on the straight. He made it on the straight side of the pocket. If he makes that centre pocket, the cue ball's an extra turn left. I'm not sure he's on it. He might just.
Cue ball smaller than the object ball.
Oh, very good.
I tell you what, I really hope he gets this 8 ball. This would be one of the maddest pairs of frames you're ever likely to watch. This is a hell of a frame. Just needs to seal the deal. I think he's trying to convince himself it goes top right. I think you just got to cut it in, don't you? No, he's going top right. There's more room than I thought.
He's missed it.
Oh, well, there's less room than I thought. That camera angle made it look open. It only just grazed the red and went into the jaw. You've got to play that middle right, don't you?
If you're playing it to the corner, it must have gone easily. There's no way you play that to the corner if it's tight, because it did go right centre. I think
didn't miss that red by much.
I know. I just think he's missed. I just think he's just missed the ball. It was a pressure ball. For everything that's happened in the match so far, I think that was just the pressure told. There's no way you take that to the corner if it's even remotely tight, because it did go in the centre.
Oh, he took out such a good set of colours. Everything up until the 8 ball was brilliant. And you can't help but feel for him with everything that happened the frame before. Tough place to be.
Fairly simple job to mop up for Craig. Just had to flip that 1 ball into play.
There's a real authority when Craig cues at the table. There's confidence in his cue ball and always in his potting, but you can tell he's sharp. He's been full-time this year, which is a massive thing for him.
It is. Do you think there's he has made the decision to go full-time? And do you think there's a slight monkey on his back that he's yet to have a English pool victory since making that decision?
No.
I don't either. I don't think, because Craig doesn't
to use
think in
your
those
word,
terms.
yeah, to use your word, I don't think he gives a monkeys.
No, I don't.
I think he's had success in the States. I think he's won, what, 2 events over there? You're Mr. USA, you know better than me.
He won the shootout in Boston. He made the final in Phoenix.
Okay. So he's had success over in the US. He's travelling the world playing pool. He's had good runs this year without taking down a title. Don't get me wrong. I think he'll want one before the season closes, but there's still a long way to go this year.
Yeah, I actually agree. I do think other players it actually might be a factor, but Craig's not one of those.
Well, no surprise, by the way, whilst we have this conversation, that James Kirk has opted to take a quick comfort break. Craig Waddingham will follow him, and we're going to take a quick break as well, I think, whilst we wait for the players to get back in the arena. Back in 2.
Introducing Ultimate Pool 820, professionally produced by CPBA, developed by the best players on the planet for world-class performance, maximum durability, and ultra consistency. Responsive, reactive, with lightning pace, and built for the players. Order yours now at ultimatepoolshop.com. For trade inquiries, contact traders@ultimatepoolgroup.com. Ultimate Pool and CPBA, taking player experience to the next level.
We're back underway here. No players in Newcastle under Lyme. Slightly quicker break than I initially foresaw, and it's Craig Waddingham back to the table on these red balls. First session in play here. We will play 12 frames in this first session between these 2 players. There is a possibility that it may be 11-1. That's what Craig will be thinking by the time we resume for session 2. Have himself a quick evening's work and get himself into the next rounds. But for James, it's worth remembering 2 sessions, so you do get a bit of recuperation time. But there's also a very, very long way to go in this match.
Yeah, and that could be a big factor. That red dropping in, he's not on the next ball. We got 5 frames left, 4 after this. He's got to find a way to at least get to 4, hasn't he, James? He's just got to find a way to give himself any hope. Overcuts it. All these yellows go. Time just to put a little bit of control on this one and get it done. If that's sat on the jaw, it's a problem. I think he's okay. I think there's just a gap. Making light work of this. Well, until that moment, he's just giving himself a bit of a headache, leaving that short. And he's going to go in off.
Oh. Oh. Maybe there is hope.
How did this stay on the table?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea.
That would have been tough. That might have been the end, the way this match has gone. Now that stays on the table, and that's okay. It's frame on the board. He doesn't look happy about it, but it is frame on the board. It's one of those strange situations when you're playing this game and you get into that kind of negative headspace, and guarantees queuing up on that last shot, going for the 8-ball, going, well, at least I've got this one on the board. That's better. And then you leave it significantly short, and you're sweating a trickier 8-ball with cue ball than perhaps you should have been. But it's all worked out. 4 frames left. He wants 3 of them. Worst case, got to share them, but love 3 of them.
Thumps the break and gets some success off it as well.
Sort of bounced off the packs. They didn't really explode. All but 1 ball in the bottom half of the table. This could be a bit of a clock killer. We've got 12 minutes and 12 seconds left. 4 frames. Yeah, we could be in danger of not seeing them all, depending on how this one plays out. Get too far, trying to make something happen. I don't think Craig will be tempted here. There's just no future. Red on the left-hand side, red in the top half of the table, both problems. The red he's about to play also doesn't have a pocket. Be patient, wait for the right opportunity. May just take this red off the cushion and not really do too much. Yeah, just get it off the cushion and into the mix. 𝗏𝗏𝗃 really wants to be the aggressor here. He really wants to try and make something happen, perhaps being 4 behind. It's a good shot, but Craig will be happy to see it. There's no out on here. Yellow on the left-hand side. Major problem. You've got yellow on the right-hand side. Less of a problem, but still a problem. That's an excellent shot. It's a good pot, but it did not break out the ball he was looking to. And fully in trouble here. just opens up the reds. Trying to make the miracle shot happen. First shot just put another red in an awkward position, but they all go independently, so it isn't actually that bad. That's not great though. I think the original plan was probably to deal with the 2 on the side to start with, but he had too much angle. And now he's hampered, he can't do anything but just play the natural. If it goes to the centre, it's no problem whatsoever. It goes to the corner, it's a little bit more, but for a player that pots as well as Craig.
You had to say it, didn't you?
Not the first commentator's curse of the day, that's for sure. Normally so clean. Those sorts of shots don't bother him, but he's thrown one in there. He's actually thrown a visit in. He never really had that visit. Not the greatest of shots for James there, but the red's in a great position. He can put everything into this pot, not worry about what he's leaving. Excellent. And punches that one in. 6-3. 3 left. 6:30. We may not get them in. The rule is if the clock runs out, the frame that's being played will be finished. We may just get them in. Depends how these play. Still doesn't look happy with his work, but 6-3 from where he's been in this match is it's better. He's on a mini recovery here. There's 3 left in this session, and Craig will be very disappointed if he doesn't get out at least 8-4. He'll feel like he's been at least 8-4 the better player here. And if he gets out 7-5, or even 6-3, because that's still on the cards as well, he'll be very, very disappointed. It's getting across the table, isn't it? If he takes the one to right centre, then he's got to play a really good shot to get either from left side to right side or play the double. I guess that's an option. Yeah, It makes sense to me to take this one on now, even though he's not as good on it as he would like. Because he can use the one in the middle of the table to connect across. That was an excellent shot. Bit more like it from Craig.
Yeah, just a little bit. Sort of said, didn't we, that matches like this can strangely be quite difficult to find your own rhythm when your opponent is struggling, and I think that has been a bit of the case for Craig. But he's had moments where he's played some good stuff.
Yeah, just one or two, isn't he, that have stopped him from being out of sight. One or two shots here and there he'd like to have back. It's a first round match and he's in control, so he won't be too disappointed. We've got 4 minutes left. So they need this frame to play out inside the 4 minutes to get the full 12 in. Break clearance or a attempting counter should see us do that. Keep an eye on the clock.
No, you can't believe that strike.
Craig Waddingham has the opportunity then. One bad yellow on the table. And ways to get to it. Slight bend on this first one by the looks of things. No, he's okay. We saw John McAllister in the previous match from a very similar scenario here, really, other than John didn't, Craig started a lot better than John did. But from the match tightening up to 4-4, John just did 4 straight visits to the table. And that's what Craig's looking at here, is not the 4 straight, but he's looking at the match just tightening up. And then he wants to go 3 straight off the break. With that shot there, he might not. He's not on anything nice. Was just on that yellow, so he was okay. Thought the 8 ball was in the way. Nearly, well, made it clearly off the thin side of the pocket. I think that's just compromised the positional side of that shot. May play this off the red, just for cue ball purposes. Oh, it went straight to the corner. Thought he had to go centre. That was an excellent pot. No issues with this 8 ball. And that's the reverse clearance on the back of the break clearance. Showing class at the right time here is Craig Waddingham. One more frame to come.
Yeah, and And that was a very classy visit from Craig. All the qualities that these great players have. Quality, a lot of them have a sense of timing. They know which frames are the important frames. This was an opportunity for Craig to put the hammer down. And he is taking that opportunity.
Yeah, he's thinking one more good break. And let's roll them in. 9-3. Very good first session work done. Oh, it's the cue ball. So it won't be Craig to do 3 straight to finish. If James is going to have any chance to get back in this match, it needs to be starting here with this frame. You're not going to beat Craig Waddingham from 9-3 down. You need to play an unbelievable level and get help. 8-4, you're still massive underdog, but you've at least got something to cling on to. The red below the right centre pocket was part of the reason why he's decided to go yellows. Yellow below the 8 ball's awkward to get to. Certainly get to nicely. Only one above the 8 ball actually. He's one really good positional shot. Use the top cushion here and get there. Tried to move the yellow. Oh, it did beautifully. It was a risky shot, but played absolutely fantastic. Oh dear. Not really sure what was happening there.
Well, an extraordinary end to the first session. Craig Waddingham 9-3 in front after 12 frames played. He is 4 from home when they resume after the half-time break of James Kirk. Some good moments in there, but some moments to forget as well. An interesting experience on the Ultimate Pool Arena table. Welcome back, everybody. We're really sorry for the delay in our regularly scheduled programming. We are back with the Ultimate Pool Masters, and we're back with James Kirk. Now, fans of maths might be thinking, I thought the first session was 12 frames. 11 plus 3 is 14. Well, we add that factor in, combined with the delay, and we get your answer. Had a bit of a delayed start for James Kirk. He was put on the clock, has lost 2 frames because of his late arrival. And we now resume 11-3 down. It's Craig Waddingham first to the table, and it could be quite a short salvo, this, from the Silver Sniper, who has been sat waiting very patiently.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I feel for James a little bit here. I heard him when he turned up. He said that he was talking to referee Orich. He said he just didn't know he was on. He wasn't informed of the fact that he was on this table. They were told that they may not be on this table, and nobody informed him that he was, and therefore wasn't due to be playing. He didn't think he'd be playing for another couple hours. Very, very difficult situation for James. He was already had a mountain to climb, and now I just don't see how he can do anything here, really.
Yeah, and he had a bit of a tough time. That's a lovely shot from Craig as he got on it. Well, I'm not sure he's
not ideal unless he's on the bottom one.
I think he's on the bottom one. If he isn't, he can probably just turn it, but it's still not ideal from there either. But what I was about to say was the first session was sort of delicately put, a bit of a nightmare really for James Kirk. Couldn't get anything going. Everything that sort of could go wrong kind of did. And that's not necessarily a criticism, that's just kind of what happened, I think, out there. It got away from him, as it often can do. It's happened to far bigger names and more established players. That's a lovely shot from Craig Waddingham. But what he probably didn't need then was a couple of frames added to Craig's total and a dry break to follow that with Craig back at the table and potting like that.
Yeah, I would say it's it's just a very tough situation. And I mean, yeah, I mean, Craig's going to do what he has to do. He's a pro, and this is his livelihood at the end of the day. He's got to go out there and do the right things. And I have no doubt he'll put this to bed in the next 3 or 4 frames at worst case, but possibly the first 2.
I mean, if he keeps playing like this, it'll be the first 2, because I mean, this visit has been brilliant. Wasn't easy, and has picked it apart very, very well, despite getting a little bit of rub against him. He's going twice across for the 8-ball.
Wow. If that goes in right centre and he's played it for there, which I believe he has, that is incredible.
Oh, that's naughty.
What a position shot that is.
Wow, what an out from Craig Waddingham.
I just float this out there. Obviously, I've just mentioned for James, I feel for him. Can you imagine, obviously, he's had to be, you know, chased back here and stuff, wherever he was. He didn't know he was on, you know, wherever whether that's on him or what else. He might have turned up here and played one shot, which was a dry break. And that could be the session. That's a reality here.
It's a good job there's a plate competition.
It is a good job there's a plate competition, and I hope he goes really well in the plate competition. This is that great, the great shot from Craig Waddingham.
Yeah, he's absolutely played that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it really was. So 12-3 in front. Break clearance gets the job done here for Craig Waddingham.
Ball off the break. You fear. Oh no, he's not made a ball off the break.
Right.
My eyes were deceiving
Oh no, he has.
me.
He has. James thought he hadn't.
I thought he made one bottom right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Back in your...
No.
Joking, obviously.
Yeah, no, and look at this layout. I mean,
Yep.
I can't.
You fear for him.
I'm struggling to make a case here for how Craig goes wrong. This is a very, very good pattern. There's connecting the 3 at the bottom up. Maybe if we're clutching here, that's where you're gonna see it. But I can't really see how he goes wrong here.
Yeah, sort of strange set of circumstances, really. But Craig Waddingham is too good a player to let this sort of thing distract him. He's more than happy to play the game and do all the right things. Feel for James and do hope that he sort of pulls it back in the plate event a little bit. That's how this event is run. The first round basically divides the field in 2, so it's not a double elimination event per se. It is single elim, but when you mentioned about connecting these 3 up at the bottom, could have gone nice for Craig. But essentially the first round separates the field, so the winners of round 1 go into the main draw, and the losers from round 1 will go into a plate event to try and salvage something from their weekend, which is where James is heading. How quickly he goes there, though, is up to Craig Waddingham.
It wasn't actually that easy to connect those 2 on the right to the 1 on the left. And I don't think he's on it.
So unlucky. He's lined that completely as he's played it, and it's just turned a hair. And now he's channeling his inner Melling.
I tell you what, he's a good chance to make this. That yellow helps this a lot. It's not a big pocket, but it's a very helpful pocket here.
Yeah, there's 2 places you can make it. There's a line in the middle where it doesn't go in.
It's not a big line.
Yeah.
That's there. That was the line in the middle.
Oh,
a little bit further left or a little bit further right, he makes it. He just found that middle one, just grazed the yellow. So, is it too early to say the comeback's on, Stephen?
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah. All you've got to do is win 10 frames in 44.5 minutes against one of the best players in the world without them winning 1. Very tough spot. You can get away with winning 9 and then doing it in a 6-ball shootout.
I'd likely suggest starting with 1 and working your way up.
Every comeback starts somewhere. Every comeback has to start with a 1. He didn't quite land where he wanted to, so he's going to pull back here, play a safety, try and get the yellow to do the blocking here.
Which is good to see. It shows he's thinking clearly out there, not throwing his arm at something and sort of giving up. It's a good shot as well.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
This is a much harder kick shot for the man they call the Silver Sniper.
Wasn't a million miles away again, was it? Grazed the yellow. Right, like to see James just put this one away then. Good start, now he's in the mix. He should just be able to plot his route around. Oh, and he's left the red on as well. Yeah, I do feel for him out there.
Yeah. It's actually difficult to sort of find the words to say, really.
He's going to get another chance.
He will get away with it. Didn't leave a very easy red on. But yeah, it's tough to know where to sort of pitch it, because I think on a human level it's very easy to feel pretty sorry for James, and you know, anyone can empathise with finding things really difficult when they're usually quite good at them. That happens in life all the time. But yeah, you don't want to be patronising to a guy who's obviously a very good player. It's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, he's got every right to be kind of mentally frayed after this afternoon's session and what's happened. Obviously, there's been some miscommunication somewhere. You know, this has happened 2 straight matches now, so there's obviously something happening, and there's a very real reason why he should feel frustrated. Might have got another snooker here.
He can lay a snooker though, I'll give him that.
Easy enough to hit the red, but can you get it thin enough to make the pot? You have to risk missing the red to make the pot. He didn't get it right. Routine, the pattern's just set for you. Just got to go ahead and knock the balls in. Doesn't really matter, the first one. You can either go top left or right centre, but left centre gets you to the one on the bottom, which gets you to the 8 ball. Not sure that made things easier. I suppose it has. It's come out okay. Takes away having to cue one in down the cushion.
Oh, I'm not sure, you know. I'm not sure.
The reason I like not moving it is because you could have just dropped it in right centre and dropped it in there and you're perfect on the one top left, or you take the top left, stun it in and then do it, because you're dropping the one in up the cushion, you're leaving the one over left centre, which is your perfect connector to the ball here. It's a nice pot. He should still get out going this way, and you know, he had the angle to move the ball, and that's the way he saw it. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of top players choose not to move balls.
Just think one thing that's been a bit of a feature of one thing that's been a bit of a feature of the match really for James today is, and I think if he watches it back he'll probably reflect on this, is I feel like a lot of occasions he's actually almost made his own life more difficult
Yes, I agree with that. And that sort of shot he just played there, he doesn't like those floaty shots. He wants to punch everything a lot more. When he's forced to play it, he doesn't look as comfortable.
Tough enough 8-ball then for Craig Waddingham, but this will seal the deal. And in it goes. Tough one for James Kirk. Do feel for him and hope he goes well in the plate event. But the Silver Sniper, last year's semi-finalist, is officially up and running